favorite thing was riding horses. She found animals to be very soothing to her. She just did. She loved them.
19-year-old Katie Mason's room is a collection of all things important in her life. Her faith, her family, her love of horses.
She's been on horses with my husband Bruce and I since she was like 2.
Katie spent much of her time after school here, volunteering at Saddle Up, a horse therapy program for children with disabilities. Taken by her compassion, the Saddle Up staff even recommended Katie for a special honor last year, to play jump marshal at Steeplechase.
If you look at her face, I mean, she was in her essence. I mean, she was just so happy. That's the picture that I love the most, and that's the girl I know. That's who I knew.
Raising a girl with such early talent, Mom Betty Mason says it was 4 years ago she noticed some of those interests were fading.
We were not knowledgeable about drug abuse or the signs. You don't want to think that that could possibly be something that your child would be involved in.
Betty says her daughter would meet up with dealers, sometimes at set points in the city. But it wasn't always some dark, headlights-lit street at night.
They can leave drugs in your mailbox. It could be outside of school, behind a church. Dealers go after these kids. And it's like a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Beginning her fight, Katie put up the messages to herself around her room about strength, fearlessness.
Craving must have been just incredibly intense.
Katie's parents sent her to rehab 3 times, the last for 6 months. The relapses continued until a Saturday a week and a half ago.
She had heroin, cocaine, meth, marijuana, and alcohol in her system when she was taken to the hospital. She was with a friend who tried to resuscitate her. That person who was brave enough to try to get her help gave me the opportunity to go to the hospital and hold her hand for the last time and to tell her that her dad and I loved her. And she had a tear in her eye, and that was the last indication I had that she understood me. But I think she was trying to say, I love you and I'm sorry. She's at peace now. She's not fighting this demon any longer.
We live in a society that is just drowning in drugs. 1,300 deaths from overdoses in Tennessee every year.
Area doctors say addiction often starts with someone trying to self-medicate a mood disorder with opioids and prescription drugs taken from friends, family, a medicine cabinet. The addiction usually starts during the teenage years.
The longer a teen uses a drug, the more they're impacting a brain that's trying to get itself developed, and you're going to obviously have implications in terms of how that brain is hardwired going forward.
Unfortunately, substance abuse and addiction receives the least insurance benefits possible in this country.
There are rehab facilities that exist, and some of them are wonderful, but if your insurance doesn't cover them, that is a tremendous, and for some families, impossible expense.
Betty says she wants in on the fight. She's telling parents to go through drawers, through closets, telling them to know their children's friends.
You need to stop it as soon as you can before it gets so deep and embedded in them that they just feel hopeless, like they can't turn around.
Katie passed away May 14th, the same day as this year's Steeplechase. For Betty, that day is the start of a new chapter, dedicating her life to speaking out, helping families and teens just like her daughter.
I'm doing this for Katie, so there's no shame to this at all. I think the tragedy would have been for my sweet girl to die, but not to explain how we lost her. I'll talk to anybody about this. We just need to prevent this from going on any further.
In this burning house.
In Nashville, I'm Forrest Sanders, Channel 4 News.